We're back in Walsingham again, so I suppose it's Walsingham part 2. This is where we parked. It's a bit busier today than what it was last time we came. We're heading for what's called the Slipper Chapel. So it's a walk through the village. It's 1.4 miles away from the car park, but I think it's about a mile-ish from the shrine. I will video the village, or parts of it, just to give you another feel for it. It's a lovely town, village, I must admit. So, not
turn right onto Bridewell Street.
There you go. So, let's turn right onto Bridewell Street. So, there's a farm shop, deli, butchers, lard and fresh produce. Only a 2-minute walk up there. So,
continue onto High Street.
now I'm assuming that it wants us down there.
It looks like a third world country down there.
This is where the Abbey is, isn't it?
Yeah, and there. We're going to go in there later. It's, what day is it today? It's Saturday today. So, Thursday to Sunday it's open, 11 till 4.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look at that later. But it is a beautiful little village. It's kept a lot of its old, what would you say, 18th century charm, something like that. 19th century charm. Morning. Yeah, it's beautiful. We're just walking out the village. There's the old friary. It's just unfortunately you can't open it up to the public, so that would be because it's unsafe, the village. But look at them apples on there. Hey, look at them, the corkers they are, aren't they? Well, okay. Anyway, it's about a mile now to this the shrine. No,
Slipper Chapel.
the Slipper Chapel.
Not the shrine.
And it's a place where people start their walk to the shrine from this point, and they do it barefoot.
No chance.
So I presume they call it the Slipper Chapel because that's where you leave your shoes.
Yeah, it is.
I'm assuming.
It is.
So it won't be something we will be doing.
No.
It certainly won't be me.
It won't be me either. No chance.
We've come down as far as the things: French flag, Croatian flag, Jamaican flag. Plenty of flags that are about. This is the Jubilee year, I think it says there. Sharing Mary's joy. So this is the Slipper Chapel. It doesn't open till 10:30. It's 25 past, so we can have a little bit of a wander around. So it's not open yet. Well, it says 10:30. It's in here. This is it, I think. Oh, this is the Catholic shrine. Oh, I don't know. There's this shrine thing there, something like that. Parking. More flags. There's something going on because there's a big, what looks like a festival type thing at the back. So we'll have a look. There's definitely something going on. They've got all the benches out. There's going to be some sort of a shindig. We'll take a quick some holy water in that thing there. We'll have a quick walk around.
No way to go.
Yeah. The tea rooms, they open at 10. Oh, so they must be already open. There's some toilets around here at the back if you want them,
Probably
Christine.
after 4 a.m.
Yeah. More flags. Yeah, so we need to be around there then.
Yes, we do.
And then we're waiting to go in. A Scotland flag there, Finland flag. Is it Belgium that way up? Not sure what that one is. I don't know what that one is. It's not. Is it China that has just all the stars? I thought China had a sickle in it as well. Well, the stars. Maybe not. But there's something definitely going on with all the bunting and such like. Okay, there's obviously something going on here, something very important, which isn't for us. With some sort of prayer meeting type thing. Anyway, as we've seen before, these are the first station. Jesus is condemned to death. I'm not going to read them all. Then Jesus receives his cross. I'll read some of the bits. It says, whoever wishes to be my follower must deny his very self, take up his cross each day and follow in my steps. That's Luke 9:23. So I'll read those bits for it. This is Jesus falls for the first time. I looked for sympathy, but there was none. For comforters, there was none. For comforters and I found none. That's Psalm 69:21. Jesus meets his mother. So, behold, I make all things new. Which is Rev, I'm presuming that's Reverend 21:5. And then this is the Cyrenian helps carry the cross. So, he who loves his brother abide in the light, which is the 1 John 2:10. And then Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. His face was like the sun shining with all its forces, which is Reverend 1:16. There are some bits written at the bottom as well. I didn't actually read all those bits, so being as I haven't, I won't carry on. Jesus falls the second time. In a short time the world will no longer see me, but you will see that I live and you also will live. John 14:19. Jesus meets the woman of Jerusalem. God will wipe away all tears from their eyes. Reverend 7:16. Jesus falls for the third time. He bore the sin of many and made intersections for the transgressors. Sorry, I apologise. Transgenders. Isaiah 53:12. Need to brush up on my reading skills, I think. Jesus is stripped of his garments. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke 23:34. That's a famous saying. I've heard of that one before. Jesus is nailed to the cross. Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him. Everyone who... I can't read that. Pierced him. Reverend 1:7. And then Jesus dies on the cross. Jesus, knowing that all now was finished, said, I thirst. John 19:28. And Jesus deposed from the cross. If we die with Christ, then we shall live with him too. Rom 6:8. And Jesus is laid in the tomb. This is the proof of love that he laid down his life for us. John 3:16. I apologise to all the people who are all church goers and very religious. For there's an Indian flag up there. In fact, there's Brazil, India. I'm not really sure about some of them.
What you apologising for?
Well, for my misreading of the word transgressor and read it as transgender.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to wait and see if we can get in and have a little quick look around in here. So this should be almost time, I think. Hi.
Camino!
Long way to go.
Right, who else needs that photograph?
So, this is the slipper chapel. I'll take my hat off. We'll go this way first. There's a bear skin now. It was donated from Rotterdam. It says, the relics of the true cross Our Lady availed the 12 apostles and other saints. This reliquary was presented to Cardinal Wiseman by Pope Pius IX around the time of the restoration of the Catholic hierarchy in England and Wales in 1850. It was later presented to, I don't know what FR means, Bruno Scott James, the priest administrator in 1939. It is understood that the only other portion of Our Lady's veil in England is in the ball of the steeple of Salisbury Cathedral. Wow. Okay, I let Christine go in there and do that. I don't like it when people are praying and things like that. I think they need a little bit more respect, but Christine wanted to video it, so in she went. Yeah, nice garden, isn't it? Quite nice. We've just come out of Slipper Chapel. It says in 1465 AD, the Pinson Ballad. This account of the founding of Walsingham is the only medieval document we have telling the shrine's beginning. It was printed by Richard Pinson in 1493, but most likely dates from around 1465. The documents and books referred to in the ballad have now all been lost. This is a modern and slightly adapted rendering of the story. This chapel was founded in the year 1061 during the reign of St Edward, King of our land. All our spiritual people devoted to this place coming to ask Our Lady's help in all kinds of trouble and need. You can learn how this chapel came into existence by reading the story of a miracle as recounted below. A noble widow, sometime lady of this place, a woman of virtuous life whose name was Richaldis, asked Our Lady if she could honour her in some special way. The Blessed Virgin granted this prayer in the manner I shall describe, asking her to build this chapel in her memory. Our Lady led Richaldis in spirit to Nazareth and showed her the house where the angel had greeted her. Look, daughter, said Our Lady, take the measurement of this house and erect another one like it in Walsingham, dedicated to praising and honouring me. All who come there shall find in their need. It shall be a perpetual memorial to the great joy of Annunciation, ground and origin of all my joys, and the root of humanity, gracious redemption. This came about through Gabriel's message that I would be a mother through my humility and conceive God's Son in virginity. The devout woman saw this vision 3 times. She gladly took note of the measurement of the building, thanking Our Lady for the grace that never deserted the needy. That very same honour she called workmen together to build the chapel Our Lady had asked for. That night a meadow was soaked with heavenly dew sent down by Mary. Only 2 places were marked as her choice, for on them no dew had fallen. They remained dry. This was the first initiation where our new Nazareth would stand, built like the first in the Holy Land. When everything was ready, Richaldis renamed in a quandary which of the 2 places shown by Our Lady should be chosen for her house, since both areas were equal in circumference, for there were 2 miraculous dry places in the dew, as Gideon's fleece had likewise remained dry. The widow thought that the best choice would be to erect Our Lady's house where the chapel of St Lawrence now stands by the twin wells. Visitors of the place know it well. The carpenters set to work digging the foundations on which the holy house would rise, but they were soon baffled by the fact that nothing seemed to fit together properly, despite all their careful reckoning. They felt very discouraged at this failure, for they could not account for it naturally. At last they laid down their tools, and Richaldis told them to go off and rest. She was confident that Our Lady was the initiator of the work in hand, and would bring it to completion in her own way. For this Richaldis prayed earnestly. All night the widow remained in prayer, while our Blessed Lady, the chief architect, raised the house by the hands of angels and set it 200 feet or more from the original site. Books mention this. When the builders returned in the morning to continue their work, they found every part of the building faultlessly joined, far better than anything they could have done themselves. So each man returned to his own home, and the holy woman thanked Our Lady for the great favour she had shown her. Since then Our Lady has performed many miracles here, too many to recount in a short space. For more than 400 years, chronicles bear witness that those who visit Mary's house on pilgrimage are, as it were, daily showered with grace. Many sick have been cured by Our Lady's power, the dead revived, the lame made whole, the blind have had their sights restored. Sailors have been brought safely to port through tempest and storm. Deaf mutes, lunatics and lepers have all been made well through Our Lady's intercession. People troubled by evil spirits have experienced deliverance. Also souls suffering from the inner problems have found comfort. Every human suffering, bodily or spiritually, can find a remedy here by devoutly calling upon Our Lady. Therefore pilgrims all strive to serve Our Lady with humble love. Apply yourself to doing as she would wish, remembering the great joy of her Annunciation. This brief ballad, though lacking in rhyme and eloquence, has been written in her honour. Educated folk with greater intelligence can learn more about the founding of this chapel by consulting learned books. Chronicles about it can help you understand the whole history and circumstances surrounding this place, for they bear witness to it. O England, you have every reason to be glad that you are compared to the promised land of Sion. This glorious Lady's grace and favour attest that you can be called everywhere the Holy Land. Our Lady's dowry, a name given to you from of old. This title is due to the fact that there is built the house of New Nazareth in honour of our heavenly Queen and her glorious salutation, as Gabriel hailed her with awe in Nazareth. So here that is daily remembered with joy, O gracious Lady, glory of Jerusalem, cypress of Sion, and joy of Israel, rose of Jericho, and star of Bethlehem. O glorious Lady, do not deny our request, for you are the most merciful of all women. Therefore, blessed Lady, grant your great grace to all who devoutly visit this place. Wow, that was hard to read. I think Christine wants some holy water later, but they've locked it away. There was some people here earlier, and they were I think they were about to start a walk on the Campo del Composta, I think they call it, Campanile del Composta, something like that. So they were starting from here. Now that is a walk to a place in northern Spain, so it's quite a pilgrimage, that. So they just had the photos and that taken outside the Slipper Chapel. Okay, this is the Catholic National Shrine and Basilica of Our Lady. So I don't know where you go to get in. Oh, in here. Thank you. They've got the things again for the crucifixion of Jesus going around. But look at the church organ. How cool is that? Very smart church organ. And there's a mirror so he can see for his cues to play things. There's the altar. Apparently every Saturday it gets absolutely packed here. There's a lot of things that are going on. Wow. Yeah, apparently it gets really, really busy. There is an awful lot that's going on today, so we're told, but so there's a showing of the walk. So the Holy Mile, traditional penitential walk made by pilgrims. You're supposed to do that barefoot. Although don't see him with no shoes on. Don't see anybody there with no shoes on. Maybe that's just something that they did, I don't know, a couple of 100 years ago, possibly. So this is what they call the Holy Mile, and on the photo that I saw, I didn't see anybody that was barefoot. So, and I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't want to walk barefoot down these roads. So what I'm presuming is that that's something that used to happen many years ago, but there's always bound to be some people that still do it today. But there's an awful lot of pilgrimage things that are going on today. Apparently Saturday's a busy day anyway, but it's going to be extra busy today. But yeah, we're walking back to the car park, which is this full mile and a bit, and We're going to have a bit of dinner and then we're going to go and have a look at the Abbey, a few ruins that's here. And then when we've done that, we'll have finished this area. Although there is something for us to see in Wyndham, or as Christine calls it, Wymondham. Yeah.
Wymondham.
Go in here. Okay, we're going to have a look inside what was the Georgian courthouse. I've got tiny bits of information about it, so I'll read that off for you. So we'll be heading for number 1. It says the Shower Hall is Walsingham's original Georgian courthouse or courtroom, dating from the early 16th century. The original building was a hostel for important pilgrims to the Priory in the 1770s. It became Walsingham's courthouse, and the original panel courtroom was in use until 1971, before it became part of the local history museum. So I think we've got a bit of flood in there. Wow. So this is the magistrate's side. So this is the magistrate's bench, where the magistrate would have sat. And then the well of the court, and then I presume the prisoners were brought up in front of that bit down there. So we'll have a look. Seen that? That's so this is where they would have been brought up to court, and the defendant kind of stands here or perches on this bit. And there's your gallery. Yeah, it's got an 8-celled house of correction. Yeah. So let's have a look up in the gallery. So this is the gallery. I suppose well, I suppose the people would have come for entertainment, wouldn't they? Well, they would. What other entertainment are you going to get? I mean, we sit and watch Judge Judy on the telly, don't we? We do. Although the punishment's a lot better, I think, now then. Have another look. All to do with the Industrial Revolution, that, isn't it?
And this crowd that have come from this court. Begging track is all where we live.
Oh, and crimes were brought you before this court. Begging, 2 weeks. Concealment of birth, 2 weeks. Obtaining bread by false pretences, 2 weeks. And a public whipping. Wow. Breaking and entering a church, 4 months. Poultry stealing, 4 months. Indecent filthy behaviour, 6 months. Attempting to commit suicide, 6 months. Arson, 6 months. Dog stealing, 6 months. Willfully neglecting to provide adequate food to a child, 6 months. Sending threatening letters, 9 months. Piracy, boat stealing, 12 months. Found on land by night armed with a gun, 12 months. Larceny as a servant, 12 months. Setting fire to haystacks, 12 months. Horse stealing, 12 months. Bigamy, 2 years. Stealing from the person, 5 years. And blackmail, 10 years. Wow. And I think this is all about Walsingham being a pilgrimage. Harness makers. No, that's a bit weird, isn't it? A cattle cake crusher.
I don't get it, don't
Got shit in it.
I? No, I don't.
No. A lamp light. Good a shoe. Wooden shoe. Well, truncheons of various things. The rattle there, look.
From push shooters.
Yeah. Remember them, Dad? Rattle. Knuckle dusters. Keys for picking locks then, aren't they, I think? Birch. Look at that one. Oh, watchman's rattle. I don't think there's been a foot. Cosh or cudgel, knuckle duster. Oh, counterfeit half-crowns taken at Faken and Port, Stokesby and Munford in the 1930s. Look at that. Set of picklocks. Watchman's cosh. Police cycle lamp. That was pretty interesting.
That's what it would look like, people in the court.
Oh yeah, so there's a photograph from the court. That looks like 19 sort of 50s, doesn't it? Would you say?
Yeah, I think so.
50s, 60s maybe. Oh, look at the photo there of the train where it's the bridge has collapsed. Well, I don't think you can get in it. Well, I don't know, Christine. I've actually got it wrong about on this mile walk, because here's a pair of lunatics that are walking it barefoot. So anyway, morning, afternoon, or wherever we are. I think they're very mad.
Yeah, it's not something I do.
It's yeah,
The road's not good enough.
no, and it doesn't look like they're carrying any, so it's actually 2 miles.
Yeah.
That's a mile there and a mile back.
Yeah.
Well, I did say there'd be some. Never expected to see one,
No, I
but there you go. Okay, we're going to go and have a look in the Abbey grounds of the Shire Hall Museum, which is in here. Yeah, it's £7 each to get in, so I think that's what Christine is doing. So I'll have a read of this. Yeah. So this is what it would have looked at. So the Augustinian Priory of the Annunciation of the Blessed Mary at Little Walsingham, view from the northwest, as it might have appeared shortly before its suppression in 1538. The priory was founded around 1153 by Geoffrey de Faversham, whose mother Richaldis, Lady of the Manor of Walsingham, powered the vision of the Blessed Mary in 1061. This famous priory was surrendered to King Henry VIII in 1538 and by his order was destroyed. And this is all that's left of it. This is what we're going to have a look at now. That's all that's left. That's what Henry VIII ordered this place's destruction in, I don't know, what is it, 1538, the Reformation. And that's all that actually survives.
Yeah, picture of that. Wonderful.
It's kind of good of him to leave it standing for us, that I suppose, being as the rest of it's gone. But it's mostly a walk, is what most of it is. So let's have a look. There's something there telling you a little bit about it on the gardens. It says site of the 11th century Anglo-Saxon shrine of the Holy House of Nazareth, excavated in 1961. So this is where the original shrine was before the one that people go to now. So this is where it all started with the pilgrimages. This is where they came to. But that's the abbey. What's that there then? There is a cross that's left on here depicting the spot. So this raised area, I'm presuming, is what
Yeah,
it was.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it was excavated in 1961 and then they've obviously buried it again. But that, oh God, I bet it was a fantastic place, this, when it was in its heyday. That's just quite amazing, that. Yeah, hang on a minute. So these are the ruins of the west tower. That's all that's left of that bit. And obviously that over on that side is they call it the east window arch, which, hang on a minute, I'll try and open this paper up, which it says the 14th century east window of the Priory Church now stands isolated on the main lawn. The early 19th century landscape garden designed by John Haverfield transformed the ruined window into the arch, a beautiful architectural garden folly. Okay, this here, which is boarded up, is called the Knight's Gate. It says, in the legend of Knight's Gate, Sir Ralph Bootertoot, what a name, was admitted on horseback through a tiny door to the sanctuary of the priory, miraculously escaping his pursuers. This crenellated feature was added in the 19th century garden redesign, and the story lives on. I don't see how him and his horse got through there.
No.
Unless the original is this outer part and not so much that inner bit. They are beautiful gardens, I must admit. We're now at the other side of that eastern arch. This is the well garden. Yeah, here. It's well garden and monk's bath is what it's actually listed as. And it says the entrance is a 12th century Romanesque doorway, relocated in the early 19th century. Beside is a medieval water stoop. The twin wells, that must be these here, are mentioned from the beginning of the priory's history, first with healing powers, later after the dissolution as wishing wells. So, oh right, okay, so these were supposed to have healing powers originally when people did their pilgrimages here, and then after the Henry VIII they became wishing wells. It also says as wishing wells, the stepstone pool, altered in the 19th century, may have been used for bathing or as a storage tank.
Got steps, looks like it's bathing, doesn't it? Because you can climb in.
Yeah.
No water ain't there though, it says deep water.
Yeah. Moles are residents now, look.
Well,
So this river is the river Stiff Creek, throws through the Abbey grounds. In the early 19th century it was excavated to form a serpentine broadwater, a narrow but elegant lake, and that's what this would have been, because it's slightly lower. So when they get heavy rain, this actually floods this area here. It was an essential feature of a landscape garden. Apparently when they get some really heavy rains, you can see what the lake used to look like. Anyway, no longer at that, but there's a nice bridge for what Christine has seen as a photo opportunity. So the bridge that you can see there is called Packhorse Bridge. It's modelled on ancient bridges and incorporating stones from the priory ruins. The Packhorse Bridge was built to terminate the 19th century lake. It sits on the path of the old road to Norwich. the old river crossing near this spot was probably just a ford. But I will take you up to have a bit of a closer look at it. So they used stones from the priory to build it, so it's obviously not an ancient bridge, but based on what that would be, so not particularly wide. So I suppose just wide enough to get your pack horse and a cart across. And this is what they call the Dell Gate, I think. Yeah. Here, which goes under the road. Don't know if you saw the thing. We should class that as an ancient road. It says, looking like a half-submerged ruined ancient gateway to the Priory, the Dell Gate is a feature of the early 19th century garden design, incorporating a tunnel under the sunken road to reach the magical wooded dell. So a lot of this is to do with the gardens that were made. Oh. Says that they're going to lock it at 3:30, but as luck would have it, we're nowhere near 3:30, and this is what they class as a magical wooded area. But there's the dell. It looks like, again, like they've used a lot of stuff from the priory that stood here, the stones, to build these things as a so this is supposed to be like a magical wooded area. We've come to Windham Abbey. Christine really doesn't like the name Windham. He says Wymondham. It's Wymondham, and so she looked it up, and it's because of what its old name was that it's pronounced Windham. Anyway, it says the monk's church was at the east end, which I think is over there. It was taken down at the monastery closed in 1538. Now only the monk's tower and some ruined pillars remain. Everything you see from here was added between about 1380 and 1500. But a surprise awaits you inside. There you will see the magnificent origin Norman nave dated from 1100s. Come on in and find out more. And they've just had a wedding on here, so, or something. It was a wedding. You know, I mean, people were dressed pretty things. So anyway, we're going to go and have a look inside. Wow. 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 And that's the font. Look at the ceiling. Down this part of it. It's beautiful. Look at that. That is pretty stunning, isn't that? From there. And really. Quite fantastic, that. The organ, or an organ. It's a Fox and Goose Global. It says, look up on the roof, north side of this church, and we'll see some rather surprising carvings. Let's get a little bit of a look here. We can get to them, which has surprised me how close we can actually get to this, but look at that. Could do with a bit of a dusting, but that is quite spectacular. Look at the ceiling with the angels, the carved angels. How brilliant are they? It is quite quite shocked actually. Not what I expected to see at all. There's the organ. Seems to be a few other things going on. I think it's more of like a cafe come like kids in the area. Don't know. Oh, that was quite stunning. Turn this off now, I think. There's the manor house in front of you. You can't look around there. That's not there for you to look, but you can see again, look, the lake, how it's been like dug out. This part was the crypt, so not much we can see today. But it was a very big place. So this was the crypt here, and I mean there's some of the old walls, there's a modern building off it, but this was a huge place. So I guess it really was a very important place indeed, religious place. So this on the end here is the old monastery, we think, and then the church is kind of, or the abbey has been built onto it, looks like. With the sun with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. I don't know what that means. The sun's very bright. So that's obviously part of what was the monastery. Ground's very uneven here as well, which is strange. Ah, that's private land, so that's private land, that's got nothing to do with this land. But it seems very strange that this is built up higher than that land. That's very different. Some aromatic herbs. I'm not really sure what they were talking about when this is about on the north face. Well, I've been all the way around now, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know what I'm looking for. But maybe I need to be around here for some people taking pictures. I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's see what it has to say for itself. Oh, it's just about the tower itself. It says, for this tower, it says, hello, there you go. Hello, I'm William Kett. This tower was the last thing I saw in my earthly life. I was hanged from here in 1549 after rebelling against the king with my brother Robert Kett. Maybe I need to look him up. We've got overlooking Beckett's Chapel, which is hi.
It's just that, looking at.
Yeah.
Are you interested in the old building?
Yeah, not the house.
Do you know much about it?
No.
No, it goes back to the 1100s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's very old. This part's the oldest bit, and then the rest of it was built during the next 100 years. Yeah, so
This is
it's
the
just
oldest bit.
All right.
yeah. The floor's been done and the ceiling's been done. And the other bit that might interest you, you can see where the false floor was when it was grammar school because of the graffiti. Goes so high up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Either that or they were very tall.
Very tall, yeah. Probably.
Thank you.
Coats of arms, look. Well, quite cool then.
It makes it interesting.
Thank you. Right, let's see if we can get back to the car now, and then we're coming to see ya.